Perception and reality are often two very different things when it comes to advertising. My basis was ethical training, theoretical ethics. So I never want to try for a client to trick or cheat or pull the wool over someone's eyes. I'll use a very common example that's often used is Clorox bleach. A lot of people, families trust Clorox and they believe in it. They believe that it's going to work. But I know, because I've worked with P&G and some other products and things, that sometimes the supermarket no-name brand will work just as well. In fact, it might be exactly the same product, same formula, made in the same factory, the same company puts it out, but they put it in a generic bottle for those that are not brand loyal or don't care that much about bleach. But over the decades, companies like Clorox have won the hearts and minds of a great number of people, and they get those raving fans and people that wouldn't ever change. They believe and they share the same family values and care about their clothing the way that Clorox cares about their clothing, and their family members, they wouldn't think about using another brand, and they'll pay more for it, maybe for the same identical thing with a different label on it. But that doesn't come in a minute. That altering that public perception takes a great amount of time. And I think it takes great ideas and then executions of marketing and advertising campaigns over many years to make these connections and make people connect and believe it. So our experience with somebody like Bigelow Tea, which we've had a relationship for over 16 years, they're a wonderful third generation family owned and operated company. And we started with the second generation with David Bigelow. And now Cindy Bigelow is running the company. And when they began with us, they were number 13 or more in tea sales in the US. They're not that big a company compared to some of the others that they compete with. But now they are actually the number one selling tea brand in America. But that didn't happen overnight. We focused on moments that happen when you're having a cup of tea with family, friends, loved ones, even strangers. So we didn't talk a lot about the features as much, or the ingredients to the tea, although we have talked about those things because they do. All of those are great things, but we still focus on the emotion, the moments created in our lives as we're sharing Bigelow tea. And most recently, we have sort of invented the positioning and the mantra "Tea Proudly." And it's in its third iteration now, third campaign, and it's doing amazing things. It's really moving the needle, and it is the reason why in the last few years they jumped from number 4 or 5 or whatever it was, all the way up to number 1. And it's moving stuff off the shelves because people are now, you sit down for a cup of coffee at a luncheon with business partners and everybody, I'll have a cup of coffee, I'll have a cup of coffee. And one guy says, I'll have a cup of tea. And he's proud about it, right? Because it's not his mother's cup of tea with his little pinky up. It's something else. And maybe it's green tea, which is how we started with them. We focused on a niche, which is men drinking green tea. We used Joe Torre and Phil Simms and Wayne Gretzky and all these people to endorse the product. And it's altering that public perception. It takes time. It's not easy to do, but it can be done.